If you ask any kid what chocolate they want, they're going to tell you any one of the big brands like Kit Kat, Snickers, M&Ms, Hershey's. And why is that? Is it because you're Googling for these terms? Of course not. These companies have massive brands. If you want to be a big company, you have to build a big global brand. But how do you do that without spending hundreds of millions of dollars like some of these companies? Hey everyone, I'm Neil Patel, and today I'm going to break down 7 shortcuts to becoming a global brand. And best of all, you won't have to spend tons of money.
Now, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and if you're on YouTube, click the alert notification.
You can always tweet at me if you have any questions, or just leave a comment below in the video. A little bit about me: I have an ad agency, Neil Patel Digital, where I help companies get more traffic. I've worked with a lot of big brands, as you can see on the right side. I've created a lot of companies, and these companies have allowed me to see a ton of data, which has given me the upper hand when it comes to marketing experimentation and figuring out what's working in the future. Hence, I have tons of testimonials. Your brand is your moat, so you need to invest in it. My brand's what's allowed companies like Facebook to hit me up and offer me money to speak at their events, or even Google. And if you're wondering how I got all of this, it's by building a brand. And the channel that's really helped me get there more than any other channel out there is my blog. It drives tons and tons of traffic, and it's just grown over the years. And I keep getting more and more visitors over time. So are you ready to build a global brand? Here are the 7 facts that you need to know to succeed, and you have to follow these. Fact number 1, you need a blog. Brands are the solution, not the problem. Brands are how you sort out the cesspool. This is a quote from the ex-CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, and he breaks down how, in essence, you need to build a brand. One of the great ways to build a brand is a blog, because the more you educate, the more people get to know you. So let's look at the data. Marketing spend by channel: Google AdWords, Facebook ads, SEO, then content marketing, social media, and other. Makes sense. Google AdWords is a big company, and then Facebook's underneath them. And when you look at conversion rate by channel, AdWords makes sense because you can pick your landing page and you can be very light on the content and just focus on your opt-ins or your product or service that you're selling. Facebook ads, people aren't really Googling cheap laptop, so the conversion rate isn't going to be as high, but the cost is typically less. Then you have SEO, which is next, but you have to put a ton of content on the page, so the conversion rate is going to be lower. And then when you look at return on marketing spend, SEO tends to produce the highest return over time. But when you look at what portion of customers first found you through your blog, the data showing that it is blogging, and blogging is very high. And even when we look at the data past 2019, we're actually seeing similar data as well. Average number of social shares per post going down, and that's because social networks want you to spend money. Percentage of your organic search traffic going to your blog, it's pretty steady, but it's high up there. It's well over 50%. If you want that traffic, you need to create a blog. And where are you publishing your content? People mainly publish it on their blog because that's your own destiny. You control it more. And what has led to your biggest traffic gains? Translating content, updating content. Those two have led to the biggest traffic gains. And if you want to do well in blogging, you need to follow that, because the majority of the people in this world don't search in English, right? They speak other languages. And because there's over 1 billion blogs, Google wants to rank updated content. Facebook wants to share updated content. They don't want stale, outdated content. Now, what's cool about blogging is it builds a brand, it drives traffic, and it drives sales. So how should you get started? I recommend that you blog at least once a week, and keep in mind it's all about the headline. If you're looking for really good catchy headlines, just Google Copyblogger headline formula. They have quite a few that you can use. Don't sell first, just educate. Write in a conversational tone using the words you or I in sentences. Use subheadings so people can skim. I also recommend that you keep your paragraph short to around 5-6 lines max. And spend 80% of your time promoting. I know that sounds crazy. I'm not talking about promoting your business, like selling your products. I'm talking about spend 20% of your time writing content, 80% of the time promoting the content, like getting it shared on the social web, outreaching, getting people to link to you. Now, once you've been blogging for a long time and you have an audience, I recommend you spend around 30% of your time promoting your content. But at the beginning, you need to spend roughly 80%. Fact number 2, you have to take an omnichannel approach if you want to build a brand. Marketing is moving to an omnichannel approach. I was once working with Expedia Canada years and years ago, and I learned something interesting from Expedia. Even though they're a massive brand and everyone already knew about them, this was, a few years ago, Expedia told me that, hey, when we ran television ads, when we ran radio ads, TV ads, I technically already mentioned TV, when we ran magazine ads, when we did Google ads, Facebook ads, and all the channels we could go out there, our CPAs throughout all channels went down and we had a much higher ROI. Even though everyone already knew Expedia, but because they were continually being top of mind, it reduced their costs and produced a better return. So if you want to go out there and you want to do well, you need to have an omnichannel approach. And when I surveyed people and I said, hey, what marketing channel do you think has the most potential? People said Instagram was number 1, YouTube number 2, podcasting number 3, and then the list went down. I think conferences definitely have a big potential, especially because people haven't been to them in a while due to COVID. Voice, people haven't figured out how to really monetize that voice traffic, but a lot of potential there. So can you guess where my customers find me? Well, I have a blog, I have YouTube videos, Facebook channel, LinkedIn, Instagram. I tweet. And when I break it down, it's actually 43% from my blog, 11% from Facebook, 9% from LinkedIn, 9% from YouTube, 4% from Twitter, and 24% for other. That just shows you that you got to take an omni-channel approach. Fact number 3, you need to be yourself when you're building a brand, whether it's a corporate brand or even personal. You're not someone else. I'm not that muscle-bound jock with 6-pack abs, and I'm not going to post those selfies. I just be myself. And there's nothing wrong with being that jock either. I know a lot of jocks, and funny enough, I know the saying goes that jocks are dumb. They're not dumb. I know a lot of smart jocks. I know many jocks who are more ripped than me. Technically, I'm not ripped at all or strong at all, but they're stronger than me and they're much smarter than me and they went to better schools. And a lot of them are more rich than I am as well. But you got to be yourself. Play on to your strengths. 3 things about me. I live a very private life. I'm super technical and nerdy, and I'm quirky. And when you look at my Instagram, I have a lot of images with stats and data, try to make things conversational and fun. I post images that are just myself, like me sleeping on my couch with that hat. I like it. I don't know why. When it gets cold, I do that. I'm kind of cheap. I don't like paying for heating and or even air conditioning. I just believe that you dress more warm. And I'm not Gary V. Gary's awesome. Love his content. But I don't try to create content like him because I'm not him. I try to do what's me. So I create more tools. And I write more blog content because that's me and that's what works for me. And you got to find what works for you. You can't just copy me. You got to figure out what works for you. So what are you good at? And whatever you're good at, that's where I want you to spend more time. Fact number 4, video is the quickest way to build a brand. Think of a popular personal brand. Who are you thinking of? Now, whoever you're thinking of, you didn't Google to find them. You probably have seen them on TV or some sort of video. And that's why I love YouTube. YouTube just drives so much traffic. And then you can take that content, repurpose it, put it on LinkedIn, and then re-upload those videos on Facebook. And same with Instagram. And it just drives a lot of awareness. I rank on YouTube for a lot of terms, and it just keeps giving and giving. And that's why I love YouTube. But funny enough, my name is my most popular query on YouTube. And that's the power of branding and even videos. And YouTube consistently provides consistent growth. So 10 quick ways to skyrocket your YouTube views. 1, research keywords. You can use Ubersuggest for this. Type in keywords. Pick the ones that are popular. 2, use catchy headlines. You can use tools like, or more so Copyblogger, Google Copyblogger headline formula to find headline formulas and variations of headlines that you can use for YouTube. Use those keywords within your videos, within your text. Push people to subscribe to your videos. So when they start, or when you're starting your video, always tell people to subscribe. Make your videos at least 5 minutes. I ideally recommend that you make them closer to 10 minutes. Leverage email. So whenever you publish a video, email it out to your audience. Use social media to promote your content. Use SRT files, and you can get them from places like rev.com. And then hook people. Start with the awesome, amazing hook that's like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Let me keep listening to find out more. And always ask for comments at the end of your videos. Fact number 5, you need to get personal to build a personal brand. What's the best way to build a personal brand? It's to build a connection with someone else. And when you build that connection, you're going to do extremely well. Now you're probably asking, hey, how do I build that personal connection? What's the key? Well, you want to get intimate. You want to be transparent. You want to truly care about people. You want to help them. You want to love what you're doing. And all that really helps. So what's the second best way to build a connection with someone? Well, what I tell people is go to conferences, those in-person events. Nothing's better than that other than the online aspects because you can do it at scale. Hence, I say it's the second best way. So when you go to events, and if you can go to at least 4 events a year and try to speak, and even if they're small events, and try to go live a few times a week on Instagram and social media, you'll do really well, and you'll build that personal connection. Fact number 6, repurposing gets you more mileage. So I take a lot of my content, and I repurpose it, and that's what you'll see with all my images, and that's what they have in common. I'll take them, push them everywhere, repurpose it with quotes, tell people to double tap. That model is easy because you can use the same videos or images all over all your social channels and get those likes and shares. And you can do something similar with videos as well, and I found that to work super, super well too. And you don't have to create new content to build a brand. You can just repurpose, and that's what I do. Fact number 7, you have to put in time. If you look at Mark Zuckerberg, Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, they didn't get great at what they did by just going out there and just expecting it to all work. They put in a lot of time and effort. The amount of time that they spent swimming or playing basketball or, perfecting their business, it was just endless. They even spent so much time, just continually going out there when no one was ever paying attention. Good things don't happen overnight. Kobe Bryant scored 60 points during his last game. Can you guess how much he scored during his first game? Well, he took one shot and he missed it, so pretty much 0. But you know what? He didn't stop there. He just kept going. And personal branding follows the rule of 7. When someone sees or interacts with your brand 7 times, they're much more likely to remember it, and that's how you grow your brand over time. And your competition spilling their beans online, go take the time to learn for what's working with them when it comes to building their brand and go replicate. The reality is building a brand never stops. If you stop, people will start forgetting about you. It takes a long time. You need to keep pushing, and something's better than nothing. So do whatever you have. It isn't a zero-sum game. Look, there are 3 types of people: those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those are wondering what just happened. Be the person that makes things happen and grow your brand. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you start building a brand. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, like it, share it, tell the people about it. And if you want my ad agency to help you build a brand, check out NP Digital. Thank you very much.